Now, if you lived in this town long enough, you'll probably be aware that back in, maybe in the 80s and into the 90s, we had a significant trees register. That is where the notable trees of our town could be listed and people could do conservation work and actually understand more about the history of our town through the trees of our town. In more recent times, it seems to have dropped off the radar. But Candice Appleby and Land for Wildlife are looking to rehabilitate and maybe dust off the register. And Candice, good morning to you. How are you this morning?
I'm great. Good morning to you also.
A happy start of winter.
Yes, it's a lovely, lovely crisp degrees at the moment, isn't it?
Nice beanie for a beanie festival beanie.
Celebrating. Thank you very much.
Only a few more weeks to go. Mm-hmm. Hey, look at the register. I remember Jenny. It used to be Landcare used to look after the register years ago. Greening Australia. Yep. And since then, I don't think I've really heard very much. Occasionally you might hear Jeff Myers, the gardener, mention it, but is the register dead or alive?
It is alive. Unfortunately, though, the register just lacked a little bit of coordination for a little bit there. Land for Wildlife took over looking after it in about 2011, and we've been looking for funding to help us do this because we're a non-for-profit organisation. So we've been looking for funding, haven't been successful, unfortunately, but we've decided with the help of Bill Lowe from Lowe Ecological Services that we're just going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So we've focused on the Central Australian region to start with. That was the easiest to do because it's local.
And you're here.
And I'm here, so I can drive around and go check out these trees and get GPS locations and take photos and things like that.
What are the criteria if you were to nominate new trees? What are you looking for?
Okay, so anything that really takes your eye and has some kind of significance. If a tree just makes you step back and go, wow, there's obviously something special about it. So we do have a criteria of significance.
Yeah.
It's on the website, which I'm sure we'll tweet out later.
Yeah.
But there's 11 different significant criteria, including things like historical, age, size, cultural, things like that.
Because you look at some of the, obviously some of the river red gums, and I know there's been a lot of issues around the Parsons Street tree outside the sports shop,
Indeed,
which dropped some limbs recently, and there were some issues over management and its connection to whether or not, the Aboriginal Protections Authority had given permissions and they had to the council, but the council hadn't acted. But that's a significant tree. But how many have we got in town?
In the CBD section, we've got about 29.
And Greater Alice Springs?
The Central Australian area, we have 31.
Really?
Yeah. So we branch out all the way to Uluru-Kata National Park.
Yeah.
And up to Wataka as well.
So in town, in the CBD, what are some of the ones people may not even understand or know but are significant, apart from, say, the Parsons Street River Red Gum?
Yep, so there's the Parsons Street River Red Gum. There's also the jacarandas outside the church on Todd Street Mall. Those big, lovely trees with the beautiful purple flowers that unfortunately had the big prune after the hailstorm.
Yep.
They're definitely on the list. And there's a few other gums around town, some on Gregory Terrace, Bath Street. I don't want to ruin it for everyone.
Yeah.
Go and explore the website and you can have a look. There's actually so many there that people aren't aware of.
Was the list always, is digitised now? But was it always online, or did you have to go and actually find an actual bit of paper because it started in the 80s, didn't it?
Yeah, 1989, to celebrate the International Year of the Tree, is when the National Trust brought out this wonderful significant tree register. So basically, up until just now, the Northern Territory version anyway, or the Central Australian version, has been in two little red folders. So I literally dusted them off and sieved my way through. Finding a lot of the trees was the hardest thing because back in 89, I don't think GPS was used that often.
No, I don't think so.
So yeah, a lot of vague explanations as to locations and explanations including things that don't actually exist in town anymore, like the mobile service station.
But there's still the two date palms are still there.
The date palms are there, so they're still there at a vacant lot that used to be the mobile service station, but I spent a lot of time, just like the movie Lion, actually.
Searching for your past.
Searching on the Google, looking for these trees, and that's how I found them and plotted them all on there.
One which I think, and I'm not sure if it's on the list, is there's a multi-stemmed river red gum on the North Stewart Highway just before the turn-off to the telegraph station, which I'm told used to sit next to the grandstand in the old racecourse.
Ah.
So it's that sweeping bend of the Stewart Highway.
Yep.
It's a beautiful tree, and because most river red gums tend to be single stemmed, but this has got 4 large stems. These aren't stems; they're big.
Yeah.
Body of the tree just sort of erupting from next to the North Stewart Highway. It's a fantastic tree. Personally, I think it's gorgeous, and I think its association with the racecourse may make it significant enough for that. But
Well, you know what you should do there? You should go on the website and download a nomination form.
I will do that.
And email it through, and that's how things get started. That's how they get onto the register.
Does it give protection to that tree?
No, it doesn't. So the Significant Tree Register doesn't have any legal legislation whatsoever. It's basically just making the community aware of these significant trees in the hope that down the line maybe that can put the pressure on some type of local legislation. But at the moment, it's just about appreciating those trees.
Well, look, if you want to get in line, where would you go if you want to get in line and find out more?
Basically, if you went to our Facebook page, you'll have all the links. So that's at Tawny Frog, Alice Springs Land for Wildlife, and there'll be all the links there to our website, Instagram, things like that.
Candice, I think it's a great idea. I've got a few ideas. I probably shouldn't nominate just some random trees in my backyard. I don't think they're that significant. But good work. And you would like also to take this beyond Alice Springs in the centre. You were looking at trees also in the top end. I know in the old days people would hear us in shortwave in the top end. They can't do that anymore. But if anyone knows of trees in the top end which they think are worthy, they are also looking to have those nominated.
Definitely, all over the Northern Territory. It doesn't need to be just in Central Australia. So just last week we did a assessment of a tree in Darwin City. A big boab. So anywhere that you see is a great tree.
Not the one in the post office.
No, it was in an old fellow's house. He planted it before Cyclone Tracy, and it grew large enough that when the storm came in, it held back all the carnage from destroying his house.
Fantastic.
It's actually really, really big, beautiful boab. So
good work. Hey, Candice, thank you.
No worries. Thanks a lot.
Candice Appleby, Land for Wildlife. Go and check it out. You can go and see if you've got a tree locally you want to register, or if you know of trees beyond the Alice Springs or Tennant Creek, might be a way to go. Tennant Creek, you could have a few trees up there to nominate as well.